Hello again. I said we were going to factor this one more time using a different sort of problem. Well, kind of the same problem, but except with an equal sign. That's exactly what we're doing. We're doing an equation. Now, whenever you're factoring, there's a few important things to keep in mind. The first thing is get a problem into standard form, which means get everything on one side and set it equal to 0. Nope, it's not set equal to 0. That's if it's an equation. If it's an expression, just get everything in from highest degree to lowest degree. X squared plus 3x subtract 18. None of them are like terms, so you can't combine them. Equals 0. The next step, after you get everything to one side and set it equal to 0, is you put it in standard form. That's highest exponent to lowest exponent. That has a 2, that has a 1, there's no variable. 0. So that's perfectly fine. The next step is looking to see if there's a GCF. That's if, can you divide all three of these by anything? Well, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's an 18, so the answer is no. That has 2 x's, that has 1 x, that has no x's. No GCF. So the next step is trying to factor. And you want to factor 3 terms into two sets of parentheses of 2 terms each. So that's what we're going to do. Don't forget to equal 0, because it's not an expression anymore. There's an equal sign and there's a 0. Don't drop it. You can't. Now what you do whenever you're factoring 3 terms or a trinomial is you look at the last term, and that's a negative. If the last term's a negative, one sign is positive, one side is negative. What times what is x squared? X and x. What times what will be 18, but when I take a positive and a negative number, pardon me, will end up being a positive 3. Well, 18 and 1 will work, but when I subtract them, and it's subtract because the signs are different, it's going to be a 17, so that's not going to work. 9 and 2 equals 18, but when I subtract them, it's a 7. Is there anything? 6 and a 3. So it's a positive 3. So if it's a positive 3, what do I do? Is it 6 minus 3 or is it 3 minus 6? It's 6 minus 3. Now here's how you check if you want to make sure. Take the 2 middle terms, 6 times x, 6x. Take the 2 outer terms, x times negative 3, negative 3x. 6x plus negative 3x is 3x. That's how I would check it. I would just go like this. When I used to do these problems in school. Bam, done. I was actually looking for my eraser there, but at the same time I had to make it look like I was doing something productive. Wow, you can use the zero product property here. It's equal to 0, and the quantities are separated by a product, the multiplication sign. So that's what we're going to do. Zero product property. And I take each quantity and I set it equal to 0. So x plus 6 equals 0, x subtract 3 equals 0. Subtract 6 on both sides. Some of you might already know what to do without having to do that. X equals negative 6, add 3 to both sides. X equals 3. Those are my 2 answers. If you don't believe me, go ahead and substitute them in. Negative 6 squared is 36, plus 3 times negative 6, which is 18. 36 plus negative 18 equals 18. Bam! That's a 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 9 equals 18. And those are the only 2 answers that will work. Woo! So you've just factored an equation in x squared plus bx plus c form. It gets more difficult, but at the same time more fun too. We'll get to that very, very soon. But for right now, have a good day. Goodbye.